Well, we know EG to be a lower bracket team. And maybe lower bracket in this case means just with the brackets against the ropes, which they are right now. Well, somewhat here in this final match. They did take the first game, but let's see if they can also bounce back from the emotional loss they had. We are already in the draft, and we have got the same start. Guess that. Look at that. It's exactly the same.
Let's have the same exact hero picks, right?
I mean, I think Complexity would be very happy with that, because that way, that's like the ultimate way to learn, right? It's like it didn't go well the first time. We know what we did wrong. Let's fix it and do it better next time.
They keep changing it up, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
From all four of their games, it's been versus EG. It's been something different. I guess the OD maybe a little bit similar, Leshrac a little bit similar, but the overall strategy has been, I guess, fighting, but with very different.
Oh, that's different.
They change it up right away.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep EG on their toes, and EG they adapt very well to something if you run the same thing twice. But when you keep throwing them something different every time, they don't really have time to adapt. At least get from game to game.
I think this is it's also like I was surprised actually they didn't pick up the Bat Rider the last game because this is one of Monkey's one of the best heroes that comes to mind for him. Like this is his favorite hero.
I mean, previous game he played the Darkseer, was not able to be very flashy. Maybe the Bat Rider will see maybe a little bit more flashy.
Yeah, they saw the work that this hero did last game in terms of, at least initially early on, in terms of being able to give them that lane flexibility, which is what this hero is great at, and then kind of stop that Darkseer bottom from getting what needed or bullying their lane. And so I want to take that out of their hands this time. And there's the tree again.
Yep, like you said, changing it up. This is similar to what they did before, but definitely just throwing EG a little bit off the ways.
Do you like that as the first, like as one of the first two? It's not like it's gonna get banned. Why not save it?
I think it's kind of like what people are doing with the Undying. This team picks Ogre. We're gonna pick Tree to kind of match it in that manner.
Okay.
I expect us to see the same thing. I mean, Bat Rider is a hero that often has these like divey type of plays. You have the tree to help back that up. Wouldn't be surprised to see another Weaver, who may have been a better replacement pick, I think, for the Void last game, because that hero has pretty good laning presence and aggression and maneuverability against a hero like Ursa. And so maybe if they go that Weaver path again, you'll be seeing these tower dives and these constant fights early on.
And he also, I think, Treant Protector suppresses individual skill a lot because you won't get solo kills often in the lanes.
Yeah.
And you really can't shine in one-on-one matchups, which I think like Universe and Sumail do often. So the Treant Protector, and it also enables your team to actually get some solo kills.
He also protects your towers from split pushing and just being taken down quickly, which helps a lot with their strategy and how they play. If they're always 5-man in one place, hold on to your towers a little bit longer.
Well, we see Juggernaut opening there with the Ogre Magi from Evil Geniuses. Thoughts on that?
Good versus both heroes, able to break the tree armor very easily. It's good versus Bat Rider, just in essence because you have spin to remove stickies and you have your own like innate BKB to save yourself from the lasso or anything like that kind of. It's just, I mean, Jugs is a super safe pick.
It's just a solid safe pick then, yeah. Doesn't really give away anything about what type of strategy they're running either, right?
Just like Ogre.
Just like Ogre, guess that. Look at that. Well, we have a Darkseer removed still because Universe is not playing Bat Rider. He is not playing Darkseer. What are we expecting from him? Because we've seen a Brewmaster from him, and personally I wasn't too big of a fan, even though I am a huge Universe fan, so I do like to see him on those playmakers, which...
I like Beast, personally.
I like Beast, especially versus Bat Rider.
Yeah. Beast, I think, it gives them the element of being able to choose fights when they want without having the Naga Siren, because Naga Siren it's a different strategy. It alters your gameplay completely, but Beastmaster, you can just pick better fights, which I think EG are in desperate need of.
Absolutely agree. I wouldn't be surprised to see Disruptor again, both to deal with the Bat and because of the team fight presence that he does offer later on. And so I'm not sure. I feel like maybe Complexity is going to start banning out more of Universe's hero pool this game. They might be convinced that this is probably a Sumail mid Juggernaut. Last game they banned him very heavily, both to draw to help him in lane and to get rid of his heroes mid, like a Razor and such. So I wonder what the direction their ban is going to go this game.
So this is not going to be a Naga game? Or is there still a chance?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so, yeah.
Are you happy with that or sad about that? You wanted the Naga game.
I'm fine with both.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way that Naga game, it didn't really even feel like a Naga game because it was exciting. Usually Naga game is just like...
Exactly.
But that one is actually like very enjoyable to watch.
Was that your Resident Sleeper impression?
Something like that.
Close enough. Close enough. So we have the Ursa removed by EG this time. Alchemist as well out of the pool. Does it say anything or is it just your standard run-of-the-mill bans? It's a little bit of the latter, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, the Alchemist ban makes sense just because of what happened to them earlier. They never want to play against it again, it seems.
I don't blame them. That was, what did you say, 1152 GPM, which is insanely high. Insanely high. Keeper of the Light, Swindle's Keeper,
Yeah.
removed by EG as well.
And of the snowball heroes that can have an impact early on, like in fights, like you're talking about, if you're trying to 5-man, suddenly Alchemist has got Radiance plus something else, like that can just totally change the complexion of fights at 20 minutes or so. And so they don't want someone who snowballs like that. Maybe someone takes a little bit longer to come online, like Naga, if they might be okay with, instead of Alchemist.
Well, let's see what Complexity is going for here, because they gotta reveal some more of their strategy. They haven't, you know, Treant is great. Batrider is a generic good hero.
The
Overall.
damage.
They need some damage,
Need
need
some
some more
burst.
cores.
Just like they wanted something to pair with the Batrider last game.
Mhm.
Ursa, Evil Geniuses has sucked the same thing with the Ursa. Ursa also pretty decent versus Juggernaut.
Ursa's banned, but they could go for
Yeah.
like probably Spirit Breaker again themselves. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
I was
Ursa, but
gonna
I
s-
didn't see
yeah.
the ban. Yeah.
Spirit Breaker, maybe, I don't know, maybe Mirana again even, just because Cancel had such a good performance on it, and it leaves it a little bit open-ended because he free plays it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Spirit Breaker could even work too, because it goes through the jug, it's easy to set up ganks for him.
That makes Disruptor an even more appealing pick for Evil Geniuses.
Do you want both your supports already though?
Yeah, I don't know if they want to reveal both right away.
Do you want 2 of your cores already? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I think
yeah.
I think
Okay.
over two
Fair enough.
supports.
Especially because they showed the jug,
Yeah.
so at least you know one of them, that's either the mid or the safe lane.
Yeah, it
So
will
they
be
go for the
Mirana.
Mirana.
Which, I mean, to be fair, it could be either.
Yeah.
Could be support, could be core. We know both Seafreak and Cancel play that very well, so will be interesting to see what they're going to do with that. And it doesn't give anything away for EG, so they are going to have
Yeah.
to make up their own mind.
I really like the Beastmaster for
Still,
EG
yeah.
this game. I think that they might go for like the Sanking route that they did earlier, but I think the Beastmaster fits better against the Batrider. Just it enables the Juggernaut more and enables your Ogre in a better manner because of the aura, be able to push down towers, take fights on your own accord.
How would you run it? Would you run it in just solo off, you
Yep.
know, generic style?
Yeah, they can have
Mhm.
crit start up there a bit too. I
Yeah.
mean, he can just jungle too, but okay, so go
Ooh.
for a different route. Jakiro.
What's your thoughts on Jakiro?
He's great versus Tree because you can just you're just going to be constantly whittling down towers. Of course, Tree can heal it, but if you're there with your Jakiro and you bring a couple extra heroes, that tower's definitely going to go
Yeah.
down.
He has a bit of team fight presence and counter initiation, and also we've been seeing a lot of like strong dual lanes this tournament. So I wouldn't be surprised. Universe used to play this hero all the time.
He did.
Wouldn't be surprised if it's a dual lane with something else. Maybe they want to get the same effect they get last game, which was really bullying Complexity a bit off the lanes a bit to slow them down.
The old school Universe Jakiro, back when Yules was OP.
I mean, that was only a small change, surely.
The mana.
The mana and the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those both
Yes.
were.
I guess so. I guess that's enough to nerf an item. Doesn't take much with tweaking.
Didn't move speed get nerfed too? I think. Maybe
Did
not.
what get nerfed?
Move speed on it.
Did it?
I thought the mana was big. It went from like 25 to like what, like 150. or
150,
something?
yeah, 165 or something like that.
Close enough.
Poor
Close
Jakiro.
enough.
Poor Jakiro. Weaver, it is the
Good
Weaver
call, Jack.
again. Good call, Jack, indeed. And how does it... Because is it going to be your safe lane Weaver? Is it going to be your off lane Weaver? Well, obviously there's already Batrider as well, but how are they going to fit this in to their plan?
Probably safe lane Weaver, the same deal. I mean, you can send a strong dual lane against him, but he
They go for
he
the
still
Sand
is
King.
able to farm and or get kills on you if there's any kind of rotation. So I think he's a more self-sustaining laner than some of the others
Mhm.
that you could put in the safe lane that still
Mhm.
count as the active core box. And so I think this is a good pick for them.
This is like what LGD did before, Sanking Jakiro, putting
Mhm.
heavy pressure on the offlane. Emphasize a lot on getting your Sanking a great start.
Is that enough to slow down Weaver's farm?
I think so.
Yeah, it puts a ton of pressure for sure.
He's
'Cause
short range.
short range and caustic. Yeah.
Does that make you revisit the idea of going more on a core or support? Like, does that favor either of the two? Do you want to have maybe a more bullying support rather than a Mirana instead of that? And put Cancel on Mirana then in that regard?
Yeah, I also don't think there's like that great of heroes for Cancel left. Just with I think OD and Mirana are like his two best ones. Kunkka
Yeah.
is okay too, but I don't think Kunkka matches up as well.
Mhm.
And I would agree that you would need a stronger support in lane to make sure that Weaver has an okay time. But the nice thing about Weaver is you can actually put him in the off lane and then put Batrider in safe
Yeah.
lane. But regardless, I think Complexity safe lane is under a lot of danger.
Well, they need to fix that with one hero a pick
Yeah, I
and try to protect themselves from that. They ban out the Storm. Evil Genius is still lacking one hero, and I say one hero because it's a core. We don't know for sure yet if it's going to be a mid core or a safe lane core. So Sumail and Arteezy both play that Juggernaut. Be curious to see. If you know you're going to go up against Mirana, what do you go for? Like, what's good in laning against the Mirana? Is Juggernaut okay?
Yeah, Jug's okay. Poor man shield mid heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus we usually
Can
have
work.
that ogre, what's called the bodyguard
Yeah.
by English and Chinese. So like, we'll probably just stand over there and throw some ignites to secure his early lane.
I mean, if you're gonna have an ogre there, you could basically put anything that you want mid. Right? It doesn't really matter. Ogre will do the job. He's a good bodyguard in that.
They do need to pick a self-sustaining safe laner though, because if the Jakiro is going to be paired with the Sand King and they are going to do that, then Ogre, Ogre if he starts mid, they need to find something that can match up well decently in that manner.
Slark, maybe? I think Slark actually matches up well versus all their heroes on complexity side. It's so good.
Nice.
Ben Wu.
Like, Mirana can't leap. Weaver can't Shikuchi away. You take down all your napalm stacks, and you take down living armor. And you don't have to worry about overgrowth.
The fixer of all things.
Yeah, I think he was...
Super scaling as well.
Yeah, great
he's
call. They
nasty
just don't
here.
have enough hard disable to kill him unless they execute very well.
And what's the peak timing that Evil Geniuses has with this draft? You feel? Like, if they have a good game, if they have the game that they want, how fast are they going to take
Once
it?
Sand King gets Blinking before Weaver gets his second item.
Okay.
Blink Lothar, right? Blink Shadowblade.
Yeah.
Those two items.
I think that's a pretty big window, I think, for them.
So they go for the Rubik.
Okay, so with Complexity's lineup done as well, what is their key timing? What are we going to look at for them? What do they need to do to
Not lose the lanes.
not lose
lose
the
lanes,
lane?
get decent Blink Dagger
Or
timing.
not lose
but
the lanes that badly, because they can be behind, but not that far behind.
yeah, that's
Well-
pretty much what we've been saying a lot. Complexity needs to just come out in at least even in the lanes.
What a great strategy, guys. Not lose the lanes. Let's find out if Complexity can do that and force it to game 3, or if Evil Geniuses is going to take it 2-0 over to Toby and Purge.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, we're back. I'm kind of hoping for a third game, Purge. I don't know about you. I can
Yeah.
go all night. We can do this Dota thing.
I love that last game, but it really is about don't lose the lanes. That's what I was thinking. Same game. Slark's so good against so many heroes that Complexity has. Pounce is great against Batrider. It's great against Mirana. It's great against Weaver if you've got a Sentry Ward. Basically, anywhere RTZ goes, he's going to have a good time. So I think Cole's going to have to spend a lot of time dodging those bad lanes or getting good value out of what they picked.
Well, we were discussing that during the draft as well. It's like, so where did they move the lanes around? EG actually have ability to dodge the lane, try and get a better matchup up against that Batrider. And we now get to jump into the game, so we'll see how that goes. Crit's already doing reconnaissance all the way up onto the top lane. It looks like Universe are going to head out there, so it's going to be more of a standard Sumail, Juggernaut in the mid. Teasy's going to go down to the bot lane. And Complexity aren't doing what we were wondering if they would use the advantage that comes from living armor to run the Weaver in the off position.
Yeah, it's really about lane prediction right now. I don't even know if we have lanes solidified. They're going to see where some EG heroes are. In fact, EG is clearly hiding right now, just waiting to see if they have somebody walk up the hill. And
Well, with this, we'll get a top rune fight.
yeah, that's actually what it looks like, and that's why EG is sitting around so safely. They would also be great to be able to force arrow out of Mirana as well. Then Ogre's going to be able to get more advantage harassing in the mid lane. So that's going to be a lot about this first little fight. And the fact that they don't see EG yet has got to be pretty scary for them.
TZ's waiting on the bottom lane for someone to come and scout out. Like, both the observer wards of EG are so deep. If TZ works this out, he'll just slip into the bottom rune, grab it up.
Yeah.
But not having him in this fight is going to make it a little bit better for Complexity. They're bringing everybody, the whole 5 down. So TZ making his way to the bottom rune.
They'll see
Here they
'em.
go.
They know they're fighting.
Swindles is, they're just going to let it go out. So Arteezy will grab the first rune from the bottom and just go straight to lanes.
And one of the cool things is with this Zai sitting where he was, he spots where Cole are heading their lanes. Weaver going to the safe lane with Treant Protector, so now they can more rapidly make their decision about how they do this. So it'll be a Slark on the safe lane versus a Batrider, and mid lane is just going to be the typical matchup, just Juggernaut versus Mirana. I think this is, as a whole, quite good for EG.
Yeah, it seems like, well, you said it, like, win the lanes. This off lane of EG is very, very potent. Both Zai and Universe, great lane harassments, especially up against melee heroes, but this is when you have Moo come into the lane. Like, Swindles will add a little bit of regeneration back, and maybe even with the help of Z-Freak, they can try and find some of these kills. So they start up on top lane,
level 1
looking
Swarm.
for this kill over on Universe. The level 1 Swarm from Moo can't get close, but that's the reason why Z-Freak's here. Drag him back. Universe has a lot of negative armor with a Fairy Fire. The bug is killing him off. He quickly sounds underneath the tower. The tower is actually helping him. Universe on 25 HP. He'll survive. Zai as well breaks free of the Scarabs. So barely living on this off lane. That's two very tanky heroes to get through.
And it cost them 2 salves on Sand King. They would have loved to get that kill, and it was really creative that they opened that with the Swarm. But a little body blocking from Swindles. They definitely could have gotten at least one more right click there on the Sand King. And that was the moment they could do it before he has Burrow Strike. If he's got Burrow, he gets away. Almost
Bottom lane.
successful.
They should get the leash over on Monkeys. Crit's just got Ignite, so it's more chip away at the Batrider. Arteezy is level 2, so he's already starting to shift that essence out of Monkeys.
The 8 stack on Ogre. That's going to offset his armor a little bit. So Monkey's pretty happy with this, though. Fast level 2 because it took a while for them to rotate. As long as they can try to keep this dual offlane zone, they'll be pretty pumped. But for now, looks like they'll stack large cam, maybe do some pulls in a moment. I think this is going okay for Cole so far. Mid is actually important. 6 last hits, though, on Cancel, and 7 on Sumail. Although Sumail does have 6 denies. That's pretty nice.
You're always going to be pretty happy if you even trade with Sumail.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We've seen him outplay so many people today. And look at his skill build, actually. He went for 2 points in Healing Ward early. 50% more value from the second skill points. And it doesn't actually cost more mana. So all because he just wants to get as much farm as possible. But normally we see more spin, actually, just to guarantee last hits without harass. But I guess if, it's a pre-level like 5 Mirana, it doesn't really matter if he uses Starstorm. So he'll just focus on the ability of him to right-click, and that's what Sumail's good at.
Bottom lane, another opportunity now for Crit. He's got the Fire Blast, but not the Ignite available. The Fire Blast will help set up for Arteezy. So Firefly won't do enough work at this. Should actually be the first blood. Damage from Dark Pact helps out, but it's Arteezy who spills the first blood.
He gets a buyout, though, and that's boots as well as 2 TP scrolls. So not terrible there for Monkeys. And keep in mind, Batrider's one of his best
here's
heroes.
a push. Top lane. They pick him up, throw him back. It's a Sentry Ward that let him see it coming with the Burrow Strike from Universe. Creates space, but will it be enough? Zai trying to get rid of the bug. The damage, it is still enough. The Weaver bug does the work. Universe running away from Z-Freak. Still needs to get rid of that Scarabeel, but it'll time out now.
Ooh, man, you ever just have a bug on you for like 20 seconds? It's the worst, man. Never? Never, Toby?
I grew up in Australia.
So yes, you've got bugs on you.
Simple answer, yes.
And they were giant. Equally giant as the swarm.
Also rather deadly, just like that one. Middle lane, Crit's going to come in, so they're going to shift the balance of this mid lane. Mirana may be okay with this, mainly because her bottle is now arriving, but stun, ignite, just going to be more of a pain in the butt to cancel, especially if Crit. Okay, commit Fairy Fire. No, you're ticking down, too much harassment. So both these bottle charges needs to get that 4-minute rune.
Yeah, he really wanted to arrow the siege creep there, but didn't quite shoot it off fast in time.
Universe is not a healthy man either. He's running down, and then Burrow Strike's the only safe way. He needs to get away from Z-Freak.
This tri-lane is actually surprisingly effective, and I really think it's the whole Weaver core thing. Maybe a little underdone against these aggro dual lanes, because he's difficult to kill. He does lots of damage. He has insane mobility due to Sakuchi, and the swarm just gets better if there's more heroes.
Is this even meant to be a aggro tri-lane? Like, is EG only just being forced into this because of the problems? Burrow Strike?
Z-Freak going to be able to lift.
Yeah, he's going to grab onto the Jakiro. Quick stun means he can't get the drag back, but Mu with Sakuchi gets through them. You do have that dual breath, so Z-Freak, living armor, keeping him alive, but Mu's looking towards Universe. Maybe now with Crit going up so deep, he gets the Orb of Venom hit off, and the Sand King gets the pop.
It was a really nice play there by Z-Freak. He puts a tree down using an Ironwood branch, but looks like Zai grabbed the other tree with the Tango at the same time, so didn't actually buy him any time. Good move, though. Jakiro coming back.
Arteezy, bottom lane, gets the leash off. Monkey's going to push him back with a Flame Break. Arteezy, got to be careful. Flame Break damage was amplified, but with no real big sticky napalm charges on him, he wasn't at too much peril.
And he's not at level 6 yet, which
Mid
is pretty
lane,
big.
Juggernaut, caught. It's Z-Freak. Almost one of the oldest things in the book, but Sumail got all three! All three onto the Mirana. Z-Freak can't even get the kill, or can he? Yes, he will. The bottle charge was quick, but it wasn't enough to start with to regenerate him up. Monkey survives on the bottom lane too, on 33 life.
Rubik got 2 levels out of that, by the way. We're 5 minutes in. He's having a little trouble due to some of those deaths, but picking up 2 levels there, a big advantage that he needed.
And this also works too. The fact that Mid's out for a while, gets last hit in Catapult. He's almost got enough for Arcanes. This is a lot of this is a lot of sustain for not just Z-Freak, but for everyone else.
There's so many good spells for him to steal this game too. Like especially Dark Pact, obviously. A lot of the Jakiro spells are fantastic. Normally have a big upswing, or a backswing that is, to cast the spell, but Rubik doesn't have that problem. I don't know how he casts the spells, but they're always instant. He wants to maybe swing from behind again and attack the Jakiro, but he's just feeling out the map right now, taking a look. Gonna grab the rune first.
You can just wait for Sumail to come down to the rune. So Sumail drops down the healing ward. The illusions could try and take care of that. The arrow well off target from cancel.
Good try.
Yeah.
Not gonna be able to get the ward either, but
And so Crit actually moves into the mid lane. Puts down an Observer Wall so they can watch some more of the rotations, but it's top lane. The bugs are coming out. Treant protected. The TP is coming out from Jakiro, and Zai will have enough life to survive this. No pesky little Satyr sitting in the camp to give the extra damage.
You know, Z-Freak was a bit behind on levels, but just look how many Swindles has and how many Moo has. Moo's almost 6, Swindles is at 4. They're just getting a lot out of this lane. I think Z-Freak's going to get a lift here too.
Yeah, with the Leech Seed, they set it up just enough time for Z-Freak to rotate in. But Moo doesn't want to dive underneath the tower. He's not level 6 just yet, so can't be too over-aggressive.
They're going for Monkeys Forever down here. He's going to have Firefly.
He doesn't have his TP. It's 10 seconds till it comes back off cooldown, so Crit will have to walk through the fire and the flames. Monkey's just trying to make it to the edge, and Crit doesn't go any deeper, but Monkey's, it's time to go home.
He's doing a great job just making them actually chase after him. And because of this, Arteezy's only 3 last hits ahead of the Weaver. Normally you'd expect it to be a lot more. They might grab Zai here, though.
There's the Leech Seed. Universe with the Burrow Strike forward. Z-Freak picks him up, throws him down. The Ice Path kept Moo out of the fight for a little bit longer. But Moo, now he actually does have the time lapse, so very willing to go for this fight. If he wants to dive under the tower with Shukuchi, he can do so. Sand King can kill the Treant Protector, but Moo, mana, time lapse, now he does it. The one charge just gave him just enough. The Universe waiting with open claws to try and kill him off, but again, Universe just doesn't really have that much control.
They actually did a lot of damage there. I think Swindles was right to try to play it out like that, but he only had a 10 stick and Sand King was able to secure the kill. Maybe first mistake of this trial, but I mean, look at Weaver. He's 2-0-2. He's got just about competitive last hits with the enemy carry on the other side of the map. This is going really well for Cole, I think. They're definitely, I would say, winning the lanes much better than last game.
You want to watch Monkey's movements now. He's got Lasso up, cancel being initiated on Sumail. He does have Omni Slash, thinking of using it. Monkey needs to get that Lasso and stop Sumail from getting the ulti off. Able to do so, now into the Moonlight Shadow with the arrow follow-up. The damage is enough. He dropped both Z-Freak as well as cancelled down low enough that Omni Slash could have potentially awarded him a double kill, but Z-Freak repairs all the damage with the regen rune. Now to top lane. Zai and Universe trying to get out, but Monkeys has rotated over. The quick Burrow Strike, but Flame Break separates them up. Weaver held in position by the Ice Path. Universe starts his TP. No stuns available. So it'll only be Zai to fall, and Complexity still making the lanes work, but CS-wise, EG's in front.
I don't know if that matters too much. I mean, the net worth is definitely looking really good for EG. Despite the ganks on Sumail just now, he's still top of the net worth, but there's 4 heroes on Cole that are doing very well, and even Treant Protector's ahead of both support. The net worth on Zai right now, 300 gold. He doesn't even have Boots of Speed yet, and it's 9 minutes. They're very behind here. So it's got to be EG getting some pushes done here, or they've got to turn into ganks. And they've got pretty good gank heroes, but they've had such a rough start on a couple of those supports that they're going to offer very little when they actually do gank.
This is why now is a great time to rotate down to the bottom lane for Zai. So top lane doesn't work, you get a whole bunch of stick charges, but you got the 3 points up in Liquid Fire. You ask for a push. Jakiro is a great way to give that, and you go to your strongest lane.
And
you go to Arteezy's lane.
He certainly is, but this Treant is level 6 at 9 minutes. That's one of the earliest. Usually he's trying real hard to hit 6 around 12 minutes, but so much combat early game. He's got invis, he's got saves on all of his lanes. It's looking great. And we saw what Cancel can do with Mirana last game, plus he's super warmed up on the hero. Played a long game on it.
You can see Arteezy. He really wants that kill on Swindles, but Z-Freak comes in with the Fade Bolt. They got some good D-push. Quick pounce away from Arteezy, and then pounce actually stolen by Z-Freak. Remember, this guy is not only level 6, but 1,000 gold after Arcanes. I'm wondering if Z-Freak's actually thinking about that early. Like, if he gets Blink.
Oh, are they gonna smoke past? They are. Actually.
Yeah, they are.
They pop it. This is a really good time here. If they can get a lasso off, I mean, this Jakiro is pretty slow. You don't actually have to use disables on him. You'll just kill him no matter what.
What was it Zai saying earlier? Like, there is no such thing as a 4th position right now, because I'm seeing Z-Freak as their 3. Their real 3. Crit moves over. There's your pickup. Ice Path can at least keep Batrider out of the play for the moment. Treant, ulti, holding Jakiro there, and now in comes Moo. They've arrived. The Flame Ray pushing Zion just a little bit closer. Man. So heavy commitment from Complexity. They brought everybody but Cancel into this lane. And in fact, Cancel very quickly TP's home.
I'm a little confused about his laning stage. I feel like Cancel is behind again, like last game. Sumail again, amazing. But he goes for Phase Boost, a little different build than we normally see out of Mirana's. Usually they just go like Brown Boots, Aquila with a raindrop straight into Ags. But he does, he steals Burrow Strike.
Burrow.
Huge grab from Z-Freak. that's going to offset a lot of that lacking of damage or the delayed eggs that we saw
Okay.
similar to last game.
At this point, is it worthwhile sacking Monkey's Blink Dagger in order to get it on Z-Freak?
What do
Just
you
because
mean-
he's closer.
What do you mean sack? I mean, they can still get... Look at this. They're pushing tower bottom. Like, Monkeys has 900 gold, and they're taking
Oh, wait
billions.
for it. The arrow. It doesn't connect Universe. Hidden inside the Sandstorm, but Z-Freak gets the
He's got
pickup.
Burrow.
Remember, he's got the secondary stun through the Burrow Strike. Combine it with the Starfall. Z-Freak low on mana, but now the Moonlight Shadow. Does anybody have detection? Did anybody bring sentries?
don't.
Nobody brought detection. So the Moonlight Shadow allows him to escape, and then even Blade Fury stolen in 6 seconds' time, which he'll get because of the arrow from Cancel. The Arcane Boots come off cooldown, so he could just spun away. So you take the bottom tower, and you get a kill on the SK with the rotation from Mirana.
A little surprised about the Blade Fury steal when he had Burrow Strike, but I think it was just so that he could have a higher chance of not dying on the way home. And Cole continues their pressure bottom, just Moo constantly slamming away at a tier 2 tower. This game just started, and already EG has no space to farm. I mean, on the bright side, though, Arteezy is very close to his Shadow Blade. Despite these ganks being successful and the laning going so good for Cole, EG is still farming incredibly fast. So once he gets this SB, that's going to be the question. Can Slark make a ton of space?
Or can he just die? Monkeys is coming in. Arteezy with the pounce away. The Flame Break too far out for Monkeys. Even with the Haste Rune, he couldn't get close enough.
And it's totally fine. I mean, very, very unlikely they actually get that kill, but it makes him go back. He's not able to get last hits for a bit. They pressure a little bit on Sumail in the mid lane, don't get it, but I mean, they own the enemy jungle right now, and that's definitely somewhere where Arteezy could just sit and just collect as much gold as he
Swindles.
wants.
He found Zai. Starts off with the leech seed. Support needs to come in, and it is. It's rotating up through the river. Again, it's the man, it's the freak of Z. Rubik may not even get there in time apart from a kill secure with a Fade Bolt, or maybe,
great,
yeah,
bro.
that's going to be worth it. Gets the pick onto Universe, throwing back into the engagement. Sentries are here, so Universe can't hide inside that Invis timeout. The Sandstorm, even Bloodlust from Crit doesn't give the movement. In fact, now Crit is in the middle of complexity. They go in deeper. You got the oldie from Swindles in case it gets a little bit rough for him, but it won't matter. A triple kill for the Rubik. Buy this man a Blink
They
Dagger.
got an
Buy
Omni.
this man a Kondo. Sumail wants some kind of revenge, but Z-Freak pick him up, throw him back. Moo does still have time lapse available. The Scarab Beetle's well off target, but it keeps the Radiant Creep Wave at bay, allowing it to Fade Bolt down, and Moo really wants to finish off this building if possible. Macropie, a D push at least will take care of the creep wave. Omni slash in. Z-Freak spins. Living armor. He's alive. They root Sumail and Z-Freak waits it out. He's got Fade Bolt. He wants to kill secure with the attack from the gem. It doesn't bounce down. It only hits Zai. So Bio Strike back in from Universe. Crit will help out. Arrow flies down. Zai able to dodge it even with that wingspan of his. Complexity will retreat for now.
They're fighting so well right now, especially Z-Freak. 6-1-6 at 14 minutes. He's got his Blink Dagger finish, and this is one of the best games to have this.
Hey,
Just-
you said it in game one when I was like, maybe you should have put him on the farming kind of hero, and he took the SB. But Purge, you called it. You're like, he's so great. He's like he's probably the greatest player on Complexity right now with this initiation movement, and he's showcasing it.
Cancel is looking like an absolute contender for that one, but I mean, Z-Freak is clearly playing amazing this game and has been lately. So with the blink up now, every initiation is going to come at the drop of the hat. This means whenever Slark jumps on
Cancel.
somebody,
5-second arrow. Hits the Juggernaut perfectly, and oh, would you believe it? Z-Freak comes in
Oh my
and
God.
kills him with his own ability. Shame, shame, shame.
that's the best part. He didn't even have to set that up. He's there's a
Arteezy,
stun.
maybe now. This is a big kill if Arteezy can take it. That's a lot of money. It's a wicked 6 streak. That Rubik is worth 600 and practically 50 gold for a Slark, who then also finds monkeys.
They can't kill him without Z-Freak being there. He is the carry after all. I mean,
I was wondering if Slark could do it solo now with that Shadow Blade up and running. But he gets the kill, has another 1400, so Arteezy push him faster if it's Echo Saber or whatever it's going to be to deal with this.
Swindle's looking for vision here. Sentry goes down, they spot Arteezy, but he's gone again. Nope, that's a new one.
Yeah, but he's back in range of the Tier 1 tower. It's a slippery little Slark. You're not going to be able to catch him easily. And Weaver just trying to get that tower with the Gemnate. Still not enough. Arteezy gets the denial.
And Moo's kind of poking past, but he's just so much more survivable with this. With the living armor as well as the fast Dragon Lance. Way more HP than we normally see. And most likely Lincoln's going to follow it up just to stop things like Burrow Strike initiations.
Big space creation too. Mirana's getting all the farm in the world to get her Aghanim Scepter, so this won't be as late, but EG set up. That's the Observe Ward. Sentries are down for the Radiant. Burrow strikes
It's really bad
forward.
for them.
They find the opening. Is it going to be enough? Weaver needs a time lapse, and he
Ooh.
gets it off! Then the ulti out from the Treant. Crit's on the run out. Is there going to be enough damage? Nope, they're retreating. Batrider's already lost to the world. Now Z-Freak back in again. Only steals Pounce, but with the Ice Path, they hold him there. Arteezy looking for more. They've already taken 2. The arrow flies in, secures the kill over on Jakiro, but Swindle's locked inside the trees. Of course, it is his natural habitat with the creep wave pushing Arteezy and Sumail in. Now they blink in with the Starfall. It's going to be another triple kill for Cancel. Mirana started the account on the Jakiro and then caught the last 2 heroes.
I just can't believe they're able to make the fight last so long. And we're only 16 minutes into the game, but the positioning of Cole in that fight, they got into the trees, they made it hard for their opponents to dive on them. It cost them 2 sentries, which really bit them in the ass at the later stage of that fight. And finally, Cancel shows up and does the damage to clean up hard. And Rubik as well, staying alive, constantly getting his spells out. And what a big team fight win for Cole. Now Mirana is towards the lead. He's ahead of Sumail, and he's creeping up on the Slark as well.
And when this Aghanim Scepter arrives, the damage amplification into EG is going to be huge. At the same time, Z-Freak, because he's got so many levels, he's even got early points up at Nullfield. That's with a 4-4-1.
Yeah, that's great to have against Sand King, against Jakiro, against Slark. Slark's a good, like,
Batrider
60%.
Well, the Winged Fiends battle against each other and then get infested by rodents.
Oh my God,
Bug forward. Now, Universe, Burrow Strike's in. Burrow Strike stolen by Z-Freak too. And everything is Z-Freak's. And we can say, got it. We just expect him to have the best abilities now.
And again, they're just slapping away at a tower. It's Drow-esque, but with this much laning advantage, Weaver is looking really strong right now.
You can see how nervous Crit is. This is EG. They're meant to have the advantage with the buildings. You bloodlust the buildings, get so much more damage out of it. And then you've got Jakiro, which allows you to push buildings, slowing down their damage. It's going to be EG with that advantage, but Complexity, too strong.
They're looking real good here. Absolutely handled the laning stage, but can they handle the late game? I mean, EG has shown that even if they're behind on gold advantage, and they're not that far behind right now, only 5,000. But with that said, they can easily be behind and still win games. They have great map control. I mean, I think Zai's definitely tilted right now, 0-9 and 2, but the rest of their players are consistently quick thinking. They stay cool and they do the right things in the crucial moments. So absolutely, EG can still win this. They just got to get some effective ganks off.
Zai's just trying to show Melk how it's done.
He's on path, that's for sure.
Well, only his other cores do a lot of work. Moonlight Shadow, Complexity. Looking for that initiation, but yeah, with the Sentry Ward down, Slark's going to see him quickly inside the Shadow Blade. Blink, Burrow, and the dust from Z-Freak holds Arteezy in position. He gets the Dark Pact off, running away with the Macropire down too. Complexity taking some heavy damage, even getting hit by the Dual Breath. Crit stands his ground with the lasso out from the Batrider. They'll pull him back. So Complexity do still find a kill, but it's not really the one they want.
I think they're still happy with it, though, because now they can defend the top tier one. Maybe even land an arrow here. Oh, they've got it. Oh, the creeps.
Sumail's TPing out under the cover of Spin.
It wouldn't have been long enough if Cancel had gotten in melee range kind of a thing, but he's going to live just fine. Either way, still good for Cole. They burn the Midnight
Look to the mid.
Cancel leaping into trees as well, so he's not going to be able to be here for a bit.
Okay. Let's look at this seriously. When Z-Freak has an Aghanim Scepter, what are we looking to see him steal that could actually be amplified properly? I don't think he's going to get Macropire.
It's entirely possible. It'd be a great spell to steal. Lasts for 30 seconds, does pretty good damage. Omni Slash, Burrow Strike, Macropire. Those are the 3, I think. So you can't steal Unrefined. Slark doesn't have an eggs. It's a lot of great steals. A lot of basic spells to steal, though. I mean, any Jakiro spell is amazing, especially Ice Path. Again, no cast animation. You just throw it out. And it's 2.5 seconds of stun every 9 seconds in an AoE.
It's kind of unfair that he can take abilities and just make them better because of the lack of cast.
Kind of, but this is why we see Rubik in games now. It's pretty fun.
Not to mention his laning phase. Winter and I were discussing this one as well. It's like we just need somebody that can function really, really nicely in the laning phase. And there's so many other options, but then you're like, Rubik can actually counter with it straight away, and he can push back lanes with Fade Bolt, even push out lanes with Fade Bolt if he wants to.
If he's got the mana, definitely. But the big thing is all the towers are pretty full HP, and again, the Treant advantage rears its head. This is the hero that they used to beat EG in the 3rd game of the last time they matched up. And while Cole lost the last game, they kept it pretty close. And with this game going the way it is, I have a lot of hope to see a very, very close series.
Yep. It would be the dream if we could have it. Complexity right now are going to grab Roshan. They might get there in time. Actually, they just burned Fortification for no reason. So the top tier 2 tower was not under attack. Backdoor regeneration was going to be there anyway. So fortification down for Complexity is not... Oh, no, was it just an animation thing I saw? It must have been an animation glitch from my screen. They have fortification up, so take it back.
I'm not so sure that it was okay to trade Aegis there for Tier 1, considering they have the Treant. I feel like that's something they didn't have to give up, considering that they're winning by a huge amount. I think they made a mistake there. EG is going to be happy with that, and especially because some of their support heroes are so far behind in terms of net worth.
And if they can take the tower, it's worthwhile, or else Living Armor is going to bring it back up again, and that's my correction.
Well, they are moving into position, though. They popped a smoke just to approach here. Cancel's approaching from the front.
Look. Oh, the arrow. Arteezy only barely dodged it. Now he starts the attack on the Cancel with a Burrow Strike. They don't have it. They don't see him. The dust comes too late. He'll leap away to safety. And now the Scarab Beetle's down. Arteezy's going to have to do work to his team back in. Maybe with that overgrowth. Swindles the hold. Omni Slash is all on Z-Freak. Bouncing down to Swindles. Another arrow flies up, but it just gets soaked. But the Creep Wave with a lasso, they can't pull Smell back to the Tier 3 tower. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off. Arteezy on the hunt. The epicenter arriving in from Universe with no null field. Z-Freak will buy back into this fight. But EG, they took the tower again. Zai. There's always one support from EG that hangs behind and keeps Complexity from chasing the other cores.
It's a great fight there for EG. I'm quite surprised they didn't grab Mirana on the backline, but she had just a little bit too much HP. And Living Armor keeping her alive there.
They just didn't have the vision, too. The Sentry and the Dust didn't come down. Like, the Dust came, but she leapt away at the same time it triggered her.
Mm-hmm. So that I think this was mostly a result of the fact that they did this trade again. They took the Roche, they slowly gandered all the way to the top lane, and at that point the wards were set up. EG was completely set up for that fight, and they got to initiate in a good way. But if that fight was more even on the beginning, with the Aegis advantage, Cole wins it. Or if they just don't do the trade in the first place, defend their Tier 1, wait until a better opportunity, and then take Roche, the game could be completely different. But EG definitely got back in this game in a pretty big way there.
Arteezy with both Silver Edge and Echo Saber. Something else to keep in mind that he's actually like reducing that burst damage that Mirana is counting on.
Yeah, that's actually really huge when she has Ags, because as soon as you hit her with the break, she's going to drop a Star Storm no matter what, because you're the first creep that you see, and it gets reduced. And then if she does it again, it gets reduced.
Complexity are on the hunt. They have a fresh Arcane Rune sitting inside the Mirana. They don't have Moonlight Shadow, so this is a maneuver with smoke, but you can see a big X marks the don't go area from Crit.
Ooh, Moo might be able to get this curve. It's going to be a little tough. It's going to take 2 Sakuchis, and he might... Oh, it's going to curve to the right.
It comes towards him.
Big grab there. That was a Hyperstone.
That had the Mjolnir recipe on it, plus the Hyperstone.
That makes Jug a lot better, but 3 minutes now, it's gone.
You know, Arteezy not playing Naga anymore. He's creep skipping out the mid, trying to slow down this push, but Complexity just need the range creep. Keeps the backdoor regen off, and they'll take the Tier 2 tower, leaving now only 2 remaining outer towers 24 minutes into the game.
Well, we'll see if they... I mean, they pretty much have to back up. There's no creeps on the way.
That was Monkeys just... If someone's in the wrong position, I'll have a go.
Yeah. Oh, 6 Centaur stun. Damn. Oh, he was destined for greatness. Did you see that? That was like an above-average Centaur, and now he's dead. Dead forever.
Man, that Centaur's so old school, he'll even sleep during night.
Did he?
In Warcraft 3, they did.
Yeah, I know they did. I just thought he was a talented newcomer, that's all. There's the offlane comparison here. Pretty good hero damage from Monkeys, but really the space creation that he provided in the lane stage was fantastic. And a little bit more kill participation out of Universe, but he's pretty farmed. I mean, Force Staff is quite good. They're cutting creep waves again, but this is what EG is all about right now. They're not quite ready to take a real fight. They also don't want to take a chance with Cole going high ground, especially with Batrider advantage.
So you just get farm trade-off for losing potentially buildings.
And split pushing, obviously. They're basically playing the similar Naga strat without the Naga. So Universe going to sit top. They still have great Observe rewards. At some point, Cole should pick up a gem.
Why does this push feel so much harder when Moo doesn't have a Blightstone?
Because it is actually way worse. It's like a 30% damage increase or so when you've got a Deso. So definitely is useful, but it's more important that he just has HP. They don't have the best hero saves. I mean, they've obviously got the Treant Protector, but they keep Weaver alive and he gets a time lapse off. It's entirely different than him having a little more damage.
This trade push, are they giving... Okay, I love this from Swindles. Swindles actually bought both of the tomes of knowledge,
okay,
and gave them both to his brother.
I mean, honestly,
both to Z-Freak.
I think it's a great play. Changed no field from 10% magic resistance all the way up to 18, and if he gets another one, 22. That's almost a free hood for everybody on his team. It's a big advantage against things like Epicenter.
Also brings him close to that level 16, so if he does actually have the Aghanim Scepter, And I suppose his like holding onto spell duration is going to be a real problem when he can keep stealing everything.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds
Yeah,
is the gap between stealing abilities.
That's going to be the least fun thing about Z-Freak's play this game. He's going to steal Burrow Strike, and he's going to be like, but I want to cast another spell. I don't want to wait 10 seconds.
Can I just get a new one? I can still Burrow Strike back again later, right?
He's like, I'll take this spell temporary, but I'm going to get Burrow again later in the fight.
I said just buy a refresher roll so I can get double Burrow Strike.
Right, they got the gem now, so finally we're going to see some of those Observer Wards from EG's side go away, but now they're slightly missing their window from the Courier Snipe, but it's not the end of the world. It would have been great for them to take a fight with the Mjolnir gone, but the Omnislash is really the thing that was wrecking Cole in that last fight. Just ripped their supports apart, especially Z-Freak, normally able to kite around multiple times during fights, but because he's going Ags immediately, he can't get a Ghost Scepter, and then by the time he gets a Ghost Scepter, it might be Diffusal Blade time. Maybe they're missing a window here, but EG played it in a great way. Push out the lanes, don't let Cole take a fight, and wait till you get your items. Now they got him.
There's Sumail's push. The Mjolnir now back on him after the Courier respawned. Push comes quickly, but Moo's having a good time as well. Up on that top lane, Linken's Dragonlance, another 2.6k gold over on that Weaver. So we said he was lacking a little bit of damage, and he's actually going to do the same thing.
I was wondering if some Weavers were going to start doing this. I saw this build on Rio Barraza's stream a long time ago, but Geminate does work with Maelstrom now. It has for a while, in Dota 2 at least. So every time that your Geminate attack hits, you can shoot out lightning, and you can have 2 lightnings out at the same time. You used to not be able to do that. So it's a new build. It doesn't give him survivability. That's the big lacking, but the whole ability to do tons and tons of AoE damage, and the lightning jumps like 900 range. It means everything dies in the creep wave.
Do you just leave it at this and then build into another item after it, or do you actually complete up the Mjolnir?
That's a harder question. I kind of feel like that's too all-in on straight damage increases. Attack speed's already pretty good. I mean, Geminate, he's already getting a lot of the value from Maelstrom. I feel like he just goes straight into a hybrid stat item, maybe something that
You're
increases
thinking
HP.
Scotty?
He could actually get Scotty with Maelstrom. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. Gives him HP, gives him armor, gives him mana.
Potentially, he could start cutting out Sumail too. Obviously, that's
that
going
would
to
be good.
difficult to do, but
I'd love to see it. And the main reason Weavers never buy it is because Deso's so good with the hero. But I think there's some value in Maelstrom here, especially when he gets Mjolnir, when he has the money.
see a different build coming out from Cancel this game. So Blink, Aghanim, Scepter, and BKB is his item of choice. So Cancel really wants to be in the middle of these fights, and there's a lot of magical damage in there. He's got to survive.
Yeah, and the problem is, as soon as Slark pounces him, he's pretty much along for the ride and has to try to live it out. But with BKB, pop the BKB and he gets out.
They're coming in.
This is
It's not going to be a great pincer. That arrow, in fact, is going to crack the creep wave. But a Gem of True Sight was just purchased. They smoke and they move.
Okay, this could be really good for EG here, especially if they get a pounce off the bat or a Burrow Strike from Universe, especially before
the
BKB.
Gem. It's over on the Slark. They're invis. There's your Blink Lasso. They actually get the hit onto the Batrider. Evaporates. Cancel trying to bring in the damage, but it's not going to be enough. Z-Freak locked inside the Macropire, trying to escape out on the right, so he picks up the Juggernaut, throws him back, but Omnislash is still available, and now she lets it rip on Moo as well as Swindles. The Vision's on the ground, but the Epicenter from Universe comes in at the right time. Cancel. They have to be careful of that damage. Universe on 24 HP. Swindles punch him in the tree line, and now it's the jump away. Sumail is on the run. The arrow flies from Cancel. Okay. Sumail, he'll dodge it. Didn't have the greatest vision on that run, but Complexity take the fight with a 2-for-4 trade-off, and I believe, did they actually...
No buybacks, can you believe that?
Swindle's got the gem.
I'm so surprised that Cole even did that
that's
well.
His own.
I can't believe they did that well in that fight, considering that Batrider's lasso was instantly countered. There was a double Starstorm, which was really effective, but it just looks like such a good fight for EG on the high ground. Maybe if Z-Freak got killed on the right side from the initial chase, that would have been fantastic. But
that's why they couldn't see him as well.
Yeah, it was a late dust there by Universe or something, not quite sure. But Cancel on the backside got multiple Starstorm follow-ups, and the important thing, Arteezy went down using his ulti almost right away. No Omnislash kill.
Why does it feel like Sumail was almost a non-factor just because he spent most of the time chasing down Z-Freak?
Yeah, that was it. If he got that kill, it changes everything. Like right now, Sumail could have committed, probably killed Cancel by himself. But because Z-Freak's there, you got to get out. You can't commit to that.
And now Z-Freak has the Aghanim Scepter, so these fights become absolutely chaotic for EG.
And he's got
He still has the Omnislash.
That's 12 slashes, baby. Time to kill somebody.
It's only a level 2 at the moment, but that's okay for him. By the looks of it, EG is willing to fight. They're coming out under the cover of smoke. They're pushing out the bottom lane with Sumail, and attention turns towards Roshan.
They're ready to take this fight for sure. I mean, Cole's after winning that last fight as well. They pop BKB. They've got another one, 9-second Invis Rune on Mirana as well.
Okay, like really, right now, this is Admiral Akbar level of bait. You know what this is. This is an ultimate trap, but Complexity, that's
see
not
the
a
gem.
Sentry Ward, that's an Observer Ward, but with the gem and the Burrow Strike, again, it's Monkeys being initiated on the Omni Slash. Rubik, he tried to actually go in for the SK. The Macro Pyro is down. What Z-Freak got now is actually
He's
going
in
to just
trouble.
be his Dark Pack. As much damage into Samel, you've lost your Batrider, you accept this, but with the Lightning Shields, finally the Juggernaut's brought
Oh,
down. But
the Epi.
Universe, a huge epicenter, Complexity, the Burrow Strike is from Z-Freak! He actually stops the SK in his tracks. Now Crit is trapped with the freaking Fate Bolt from the side. Side tries to escape. Ice Blast
Oh my
stolen!
God.
Come on! This is the Frog of Freak! Balance is not an issue. Complexity schooling EG in the fight, looking to take this to a third game. They take the gem as well back.
Look at that gold swing, and they were ahead already. He almost died like 3 times, and he just kept stealing the right spell, especially the Burrow Steal, and then the Ice Path. I mean, that was flashy. I don't even think he needed the Ice Path, but he still did it, and it still raises my esteem of the guy. This guy's absolutely dominating. He's been in 26 kills this game. That's almost a kill a minute as a Rubik.
You know, I actually thought I was completely spoiled watching Jirex play earlier today when I got to cast OG. But Z-Freak has just taken it to the next level. And let's see, this is the man himself. How does he handle this? This is his perspective.
How did the Omni Slash go? I saw a lot of stuff flying around.
He started
but
on the SK. He started on the SK, and then the
Invis.
Sandstorm, he lost the vision. But then pick up
I thought
Steel
he was
Shadow
dead
Dance.
right here, surrounded by 3 heroes, but the Dark Pack removing some of the Fire Blasts at least. And then he went for another steal here.
And now Universe. This is where Universe arrives. So the initial kill he doesn't get. Waits out the stun. Takes the Burrow Strike.
19.
On 20 HP he drops down to. And now they're going for a fight up on the top lane. Bringing down the SK.
And they pick up a big kill with that SK. No buyback there on Universe, which means that they can try to do some high ground. The Mjolnir's finished as well on the Weaver, so he's pushing real fast. And his HP's not bad at all, 1860. Despite the item that gives him no stats at all. And it just pushes so fast. Look at that. Deso would not even get close to doing that.
Here they come. Macro player defense times I. It's only a level 2. They have fortification available, EG, so they start off with the Ignite cancel, doing this little leap dodge thing. Start this at the very beginning of the laning phase, and EG aren't here to fight. TZ does actually have his TP scroll up, but he's looking to creep skip this out. Slow it down that way. And this creep wave will evaporate. Without this creep wave, he's got to stay on it.
Moose taking some damage here by the Macro Pyro.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice
Arrow Lance.
arrow as well as the perfect Ice Path. That was from Z-Freak, by the way.
It's just Blink Ice Path is amazing. The speed that it comes out, they can't predict it. And that's just, the Rax is dead.
Yep.
All because of that first SK kill and now finally grabbing the Ogre.
Samel's going to spin and TP.
Ooh, that
Who's
was very
jumping in
close.
as cancel with the Blink Starfall. And Samel is actually on the run. There goes your spin.
No way to stop this one unless Z-Freak steals something cool, I guess. No. There's actually no... I don't see any stuns that go through BKB, so... Except for Overgrowth, of course.
Lasso.
Oh, and Lasso, yeah.
That's
Not
kind of
gonna
your
find-
primary one.
Not going to find anybody on the back line. They will probably find these wards in a moment if they go the right way. See? Kind of like Swindle's pickup as well, just going for a drum. It's an item that's a little undervalued mid and late game, I think. Definitely mid game, though. The amount of attack speed it gives you, 25 attack speed in team fights can be absolutely amazing. Not to mention 13% movement speed, get outside of a split up the Omni Slash or dodge the Ice Path. There's a lot of great reasons for that.
Look at Complexity. They're just coming again. And why not? Like, EG, that Observer Ward and Sentry that's been planted down, and in fact, they're going to lose one of their Obs wards, so they're not going to have great vision over the back end of this fight of Complexity. But you still have the Aegis in the hands of Mu. So while you've got that and time lapse, this is just a no-brainer. You keep going and Z-Freak again! The Blink, Ice Path,
he's dead
return
already.
Ice Path in Universe. The Burrow strikes big, cancels dying quickly. They're running out outside the Macropire. That's the heavy damage. But Mu, low on life. Remember, he still has the Aegis. They buy back instantly on cancel.
That's fine. I mean, they're so far ahead. All they need to do is take a Rax here, and they're 2 racks up. And that was the Omni Slash, I believe. Yeah, Omni Slash used. The Slark ulti was used. And the only downside is Mu's at about half HP, but he still got Aegis. And they didn't use BKB on cancel either. Very
The
properly
arrow.
saved it.
It's looking for Universe. Remember, Epicenter is up still for Universe, so we can find the opening. Z-Freak jumps in. He's playing bait game, but they get the stun. It's the bash from Arteezy that stopped him, and the Ice Path. It catches Monkeys. He tried to jump in and go next level, but gets caught himself.
little bit of pinging on the Weaver as well.
Z-Freak doesn't get what he wants both times. Sandstorm then gets his Dark Pact. Arteezy starts the attack over on Moo, but with the Hurricane Pike into a lasso, the stun is there on Monkeys. Can't get up at the epicenter. It's Universe on a big hero of his, but it's
Smells
still
low.
not enough work. They're losing too many heroes. 2 core buyback. E.g. they must repel the Complexity invaders, and maybe they can do it, or maybe they can't. Moo's doing his work. He's still got Aegis. He's still got Time-Lapse, and he's still got a lot of friends on the front line. The stun is there, but they still can't kill off Z-Freak. SK will go down. An ultra kill for Moo. Bottom racks may fall, but
They
the game
called
is
it.
gone too. We're going to a third. We're going to a decider.
What a beautiful game, man. That was just Cole dominating from the beginning to the end. They were a little bit behind on farm, but sometimes that is all it takes.
Look at Z-Freak smile.
You just want that snowball advantage. You could tell that was Z-Freak's game there to win, and he absolutely... I saw barely any mistakes from the guy. Pretty much everybody on Cole played amazing.
This is the danger zone. This is the real big danger zone for EG. They drop down. You can see the change, like the complete, like it's a polar opposite mood. EG is like, okay, what the hell just happened to us, boys? Complexity, they can rally behind Z-Freak, a very emotional style team. They're gonna get momentum. They're gonna have confidence. They're gonna go for plays. As long as it doesn't bite them in the ass, they're having a really good outlook going into Game 3.
Absolutely. They're on the morale upswing. You could see it there with Monkeys. That was that. I maybe was a little terse with you before, but now I am pumped to ride this emotion, go for Game 3, and grab that second seed, something very few people would predict for Cole.
Man, I would love to see what's going to happen in the start of the draft, because panel, like, what do you do? Do you ban the Rubik at the very, very start?
I mean, you almost have to, or at least make sure that he doesn't get the same game as he did before. That was crazy, guys. I don't even know how he did that.
Press his buttons, I think.
Yeah.
Careful mouse control,
And-
practice,
yeah.
teamwork.
107% kill participation at one point.
What?
He had 107% kill participation. At one
How
point.
is that even
That's not
possible?
possible.
I don't know, but I saw it. I did see it.
He's that
All
good.
right.
Breaks the game.
Well, the suicide.
Oh, the
he was
suicides count as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was,
That's pretty cool,
participating
though.
in that. We'll come back to you guys for a third game, so go catch your breath as we'll talk through this game here with the guys on the panel. We still have Merlini, Fogged, and Jack. And guys, Rubik, or rather Z-Freak, Jack, that was an amazing showing of that.
Yeah, that was an impressive game. We talked about just before the game, right? What does Complexity need to do? I feel like EG kind of shifted their philosophy a little bit. They drafted a little bit more towards an inclusive type of teamfight draft instead of a super greedy draft that we've seen before. But this is not their forte compared to Complexity. This is very clear. You see on some of the rotations, the fights by the tower, they're just getting there later. They're not coming as crisply or as quickly as they need to, like these engagements right here. And Z-Freak just game of his life. Who can disagree with that?
Yeah, played incredible. You made a point too that they, it seemed like EG is just coming one by one into the engagements rather than like all grouping up as a unit. When with the draft they had here, they kind of wanted to. Like, they put in such work in this tri lane. They really decimated the Jakiros hanking, not letting them have a good start. Even though the CS board showed a little bit differently, it showed like EG was doing quite well in the laning phase. Complexity just coming out so far ahead on kills.
Mostly Z-Freak coming out so ahead of kills. Is there anything they could have done on the top lane? Should they have just abandoned it? Maybe, focus on other lanes rather than staying top? Ben? Or is this
The
point is
tree
already
just
too
made
late?
the lanes very difficult too. Like it
Yeah.
made them just chase and stay around like way more than they really wanted to. And EG, they don't like to overcommit to resources to certain lanes just because they like playing greedily. And you could see that in the net worth chart. Yeah, they're ahead in net worth, but they're very heavily behind in kills. I think a lot of it is because of Tree and Protector Leech Seed plus Living Armor combined with No Field just kept way too many heroes alive. And every little bit counts when EG thinks that they can nail a kill, and I think Swindles has been playing pretty well too. He got one really clutch root onto Arteezy when they went uphill right before he popped his ultimate, and that just cost him the fight.
Yeah, I think before the game started, we mentioned that for Complexity to do well in this game, they had to win the lanes or do well in the lanes and win them hard enough. I think we got just that. But Jack, you were always already expecting a third game to come out here.
Yeah, or just at least not get steamrolled in lanes. We
Yeah.
certainly saw that this time. Again, one of the themes of this tournament, a lot of strong dual lanes being run, but originally I guess dual lanes have trouble against a good tri-lane that matches up well. I think that's what happened this game. Z-Freak with some very timely rotations as well. And then when it just came time to consolidate whatever advantages both teams had, again, Complexity is much better, much more used to taking these team fights at the pace that they want rather than EG. And I think that's been the theme of their matchup all day long. You saw that very apparently in this game. There's just a huge difference in huge individual plays, of course, from Z-Freak as well.
I think, like Ben said too, like small things matter, and like something I actually kind of like people might overlook a lot is okay. Living armor, of course, protects you, but Fade Bolt reduces damage. The damage in the tri-lane actually was super minimal when they would try to go on a target.
Oh, this is the
super
root.
reduced. This is the route that was so sick
Yeah.
by Melons.
That like they had the gem. They lost so much off this fight, and it was just really good positioning by Complexity too, just waiting on the high ground. And he like the Slark knows that they're there, but he still has to go up there and engage.
They almost even get Sumail here. The Caustic actually, like Z-Freak steals the Omnislash. The Caustic pops on cancel and doesn't let him get his blink off there. I think he would have actually gone in and getting the Omnislash on Sumail.
As if his game couldn't get any better.
Right.
And this one by Z-Freak.
And what you mentioned about Rubik, sometimes while you'll see him even played by some teams as a mid-core, when you get those levels up, not just the Fade Bolt, but the magic resistance as well in the skirmishes starts to take its toll. It really adds up over time.
Yeah.
You took at this Blink Epicenter coming in. I mean, without that Rubik, these heroes could very well just be dead from that.
Yeah, look at his HP. It's like he was critical, popped stick, and then goes in, secures a kill on crit, steals the Ice Path, throws it on him, and just makes it look super, super easy for Complexity all the way down.
What a beast.
Yeah.
Absolute monster. We, or rather, Ben, you mentioned that Slark was, well, the fixer of all things, right? He was countering a lot of things happening on the side of Complexity. Why was he not able to shine?
There was a lot of small things. Well, like, for example, the fight top that they showed early, they didn't have detection to kill the Mirana. They
Yeah.
jumped her, they stunned her, they pounced, and they just didn't have detection. And just all these small things add up to Complexity living one more time, getting that one more item, and eventually culminating in this fight where Moo gets an ultra kill.
Z-Freak with the healing ward steal, no field on top, neglecting a lot of the Sand King damage. Just, yeah. I mean, Aghanim makes it a little bit easier, but he's just being flashy at this point.
I mean, he is allowed to.
They can't kill him.
They just cannot kill him. He is incredibly farmed, and definitely, he's gonna make a lot of Rubik being played in pubs. I would imagine that are not gonna be as flashy as he is, but they're gonna try. You know, they're gonna try.
Already one of the most popular heroes of this tournament so far, and it's kind of showing why.
But now EG's in a conundrum. So now, I think this game they tried to fight them head on. They're like, okay, we are better than these guys. We will team fight them, and they lost again. So what do now? Do they have to just accept that they're worse at team fights and go for a more late game strat like a Naga, or do they think to themselves, we're better than them, we can beat them at their own team fight? Which one do you think is going to happen?
Not really too sure. I think the thing is that what happened in this one is they did try to team fight, but I feel like they were a little bit late with their numbers, like Jack said too. Like they were kind of coming in like funneling like 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 rather than like having this like 5-man engagement just go off straight off the bat. So I think probably just off of that assessment, it's probably better that they just go for that split up factor because of how the manner went there.
But they'd have to swallow their pride to do that, which is
It's
I
time
think
for
a
that,
very
maybe.
tough thing versus Swindles, because he is. I mean, he does probably get in a lot of people's heads. It's okay when you're beating him all the time, but when he actually beats you and you're as confident as a team as EG, like I think it just kind of ruins you, especially when you've been playing all day. You're like, we're losing this guy again.
Yeah, and in what fashion as
Swallow their
well?
pride.
We could take a look at the scoreboard as well. While we're at it, it is not looking pretty for Evil Geniuses, especially not for the two supports. I felt like they were thrown to the wolves more often than not with a 0-13 and a 0-11 score. But I mean, at the same time, it looks like Rubik was a core. We've seen mid Rubik played. We've seen it played today. I believe that was actually against Complexity with the maybe Rubik, but yeah.
I like how they didn't even ask us, oh, who do you want as your MVP?
No.
They already know. You know.
It's Z-Freak. It's hands down. Everybody would agree. Even if, for some magical reason, Evil Geniuses was able to turn it around, I would still say Z-Freak would be the
Yeah.
MVP of that
Yeah,
match.
definitely. But
Somehow.
like you said, I don't want to take away. Z-Freak played incredible, but Swindle had great positioning there. Like even you could see he had 9,000 healing done as a train in that game. He put in a lot of work.
Yeah, he made everything possible. He made the lanes winning possible, as we mentioned earlier, how important that was for them to be able to take this game. Now, we are going to move forward to the third game of this series, and we've already mentioned the emotional state that Evil Geniuses might be in, probably is in. Surely they are experienced players. They can step out of it. Is it? Can they step out of it, Jack? What do you reckon?
I think so. I think it'll be really interesting to watch the start of this draft. I think if you're EG, the key hero that you mentioned that Complexity has been focusing on is the Alchemist. So against EG teams, this is pretty much the only team that everyone will ban Venomancer against first phase. They've been banning the Drow as well. I think if you're EG, you don't wait till later in the draft to get this Alchemist. Well, you're already getting like good last hitting and good farm out of your cores early on in the game. That's been a consistent plus for you, even with the loss of that offlane. With the Alchemist, you're able to transition that into either defense, being able to defend towers, or getting that Radiance and those items up early on when he serves as a frontliner with that Radiance. And that kind of disrupts these early 5-man engagements. If you're running at 15-20 minutes into an Alchemist who has 1 or 2 core items up, it makes it much harder to fight, and you can get split pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go for this Alchemist or something else very early on in this draft.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Yeah, we might see that. Let's take a look and see what you guys asked us in the meantime while this game was going on. This game was fairly short, so can't be very focused question on the game, I would imagine. What do EG and Complexity each need to focus on more? Draft, early game, or late game? Ben, I'll throw it to you.
For Complexity, we've pretty much talked about they just need to show up their early game.
Yep.
Their mid to late is very, very strong. For EG, we're kind of split in how we think that they should approach, and they're probably a little bit split too, just because they are very versatile, but like their strength in team fighting is not as strong as Complexity. So clearly they need to work on that mid game or avoid the mid game and try and take it late with an Alchemist, Naga Siren, whatever it may be, Anti-Mage perhaps. That may Morphling even I think could be on the bill, but
they
one of
picked
those.
a lot of Morphlings during their summit run.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
anti-major Morphling pretty much
All the
consistently. It was
time,
getting
yeah.
banned third, fourth of them every single time. So yeah, like Jack said, they're probably going to emphasize to one of those heroes that just like either picks up items super early that you can't really fight into, or go for the super late game and just stall out the game. Don't have to deal with Complexity's heavy team fight potential.
I could also see them go super heavy team fight, like Tide plus all these other things too, just like all in on it. Because I think they know that Complexity is not going to run something like an Alchem themselves. They're not going to run Naga Siren. Maybe an Anti-Mage I could see, but more likely than not Complexity, they know they're stronger at team fight, so they're just going to draft a very similar style, albeit with different heroes. And I think EG, I think it's going to be one out of that. A super heavy team fight or Anti-Mage Alchemist. More.
One side of the spectrum or complete opposite, pretty much.
But they only have one more try.
They do.
Try indeed. We have another question that you guys shot our way. Let's take a look at that one and see if one of these smart people can give us an answer. Should the Aegis become a passive instead of an item?
That item came from Dota. What's that? Dota Imba?
Ankh.
Oh, in Dota Imba, one of the custom games, it's like if we were in the future and Ice Frog just buffed everything and made everything imbalanced, that's one of the buffs that was actually given to Aegis. It's like you pick it up and it's a buff on you instead. So I thought it was kind of cool. I played with it. I was like, man, that's awesome.
But then
That's
you
actually
don't have
kinda
to
cool,
have
yeah.
the sacrifice anymore of dropping an item. I think it's kind of nice that, you know, later on in the game, your massive core carry can't pick up the Aegis because, you know, he's done. Like, it feels like it's a nice niche that he has to drop something if he wants to have immortality.
I think it's important.
We've come a long day from the ways where you could just farm the Aegis and it had charges.
Yes.
That
That
was
was awful.
awful.
And buy it in
The worst
the
Dota
store.
ever.
Yeah.
Use respawn in base, buy 3 charge Aegis. Ugh.
I think it's a good thing in Dota that it is like you always have to make trade-offs. It's like the item is an item slot that important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, and that's something that's nice in Dota. It also puts a cap on like how strong your cores are and focus more on the supports, because before Dota used to be like so focused on the cores. Now it's like you need to give your supports a lot of love, and sometimes they'll carry you, like see Freak last game.
So no passive. No passive Aegis.
No passive.
No
yeah.
passive Aegis. There you have your answer. And we are going to have our draft coming up very soon. And now, obviously, Complexity won. They're going to be over the moon. But they are also thinking about what Evil Geniuses is going to do different. How are they going to approach this third game, you reckon? Fogged.
I mean, it's really one or the other, right? It's
Yeah.
do they want to go for this, like Jack's saying, do they go for the Alchemist early on, or do they just go for heavy team fight? Maybe go back for this Darkseer type thing, maybe stick with the Wisp, just try to split them up. It really depends on how they're feeling. It's really hard to actually expect what they really want, just because they're definitely not in a position where they're like, yeah, we were expecting this kind of to happen.
No.
They're like, wait, we're playing Complexity again. We're down another series. This is exactly what happened earlier. They're feeling the pressure.
Yeah,
They're
we've
feeling
seen
very
that.
scared.
We've seen Moo play Faces Void and Weaver previous 2 games. 2 heroes, which generally, or in the past, and still are off-lane heroes, and he used to play off-lane, of course. Do you think that Jack has an influence of how good he is on those type of heroes?
It just seems like he wants to be on those kind of active fighting cores,
Yeah.
and he doesn't care about versatile laning conditions, right? Because he's kind of dealt with that a little bit both games. And so he's done a really good job of handling that. I think Batrider has been a key pick in the series. Obviously, the team that has gotten him has won, and he does so much in terms of versatility, so I expect that to be prioritized early on, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we might see that again. And as Toby asked earlier, is Rubik going to get banned? Is that performance from Z-Freak that you see here on your screen, is that performance enough to warrant a Rubik ban? Maybe not first phase, but second phase?
I think OD is more important.
I think OD is more important. I think I don't think it's only the Rubik. Like, sure, he looked and he made all these flashy plays, but I think the tree really enables the Rubik to be able to do that. So I think it's a kind of the pair of the two.
So you ban it out if Treant again gets picked up?
Maybe in the
first
third,
2.
or maybe you take it away from them yourselves. You just take it like
Yeah.
a third pick.
They will have
See what they really want to go.
they will have that option. I mean, so far in terms of drafts, the openings have been fairly similar. I want to say a lot of Maranas, Batriders, Ogres. Is at some point Evil Genius is going to stray away from that Ogre first pick? Could be. Oh, we already